When the Illuminator was first developed, and it was developed in the UK, it was developed for breast screening, for women to be able to do self-examination of their breast and see if they could find nodules or lumps or whatever. And it was very popular in the UK and in Europe, but never really caught on here. We came into the Illuminator, oh my word, it must be about 8, 9, maybe even 10 years ago. And again, it was at one of our medical conventions that we'd gone to in China. And we bought them. I thought it was an amazing device for what it was developed for. And so I ended up buying them, not to sell to the public, but for the women in my life, my mom, my sisters, my friends. What a great way to be proactive in that aspect. And they all used it, and we saw great results. And then it started being tried on other things, like sore knees, sore elbows, sore necks, or shoulders. And that's when we realized there was so much more applications that the Illuminator could be used for. And that's when we decided that we would introduce that as a product in our company. And so the settings for the different levels of intensity were developed for the purpose of the examining of the breast. Depending on the tissue and the density of the tissue in the breast, you would have to adjust the intensity to be able to see well and clearly the vessels and the lymphatic vessels and the little nodules. If you went too bright on some tissue, it would just kind of like expose a picture. You couldn't see the definition. And on some tissue, if it was too low, it didn't penetrate enough to see it. So those settings were strictly for the examining of the breast. And just real simple, and there will be some more information that comes out on this on how to use it for that purpose, but it's real simple. A woman would go into the bathroom, disrobe to the waist, turn off the lights, stand in front of the mirror, and then by positioning the Illuminator under and around the breast, you could illuminate and see where there were nodules and lumps, and it's an amazing tool. But for the rest of what I want to talk about is how it can be utilized for other than for breast illumination, and that is for pain, for facials, for skin eruptions. And on those settings, you'll always want to be at the highest. So everything else is at the highest setting. Always take it to the brightest. Now, when you're working with your face, around the face and around, particularly around the eyes, you'd want to put your finger or a spoon over the eye itself as you're working around the eye. Not that the light would damage the eye, but it would be uncomfortable for sure. And so just a little bit of protection over the eye and around your face. It's wonderful for like using serums like Bright or other types of facial creams that you want to really drive deep into the tissue and to help bring the collagen forward, to put your serum on and then use the Illuminator to help massage it in. And it's it's good to keep it moving around, and it will shut off between 2 and 3 minutes. And if you're not finished, you can always turn it back on. So let's go back again. When you're working with your face, with trying to drive nutrient into the face, you're going to want 2 to 3 minutes, and maybe do 2 or 3 minutes on one side and 2 or 3 minutes on the other side, but keeping it moving around gently and slowly, but on the skin. You don't want to be away from the skin. You want to be right on the surface of the skin, and just slow, gentle movements around. And again, when you're around your eye, put some protection over the eye itself, like putting your finger over your eye and then moving the Illuminator around. When you're using it for facials, you're going to want to go in the directions, like if you went in to have a facial done to help with wrinkles or sagging skin. You're always pulling the skin back, and so you're going to want to do the same with the Illuminator handle, is moving it in the direction that you would if you were doing a facial. Now, when you're coming to things like an elbow pain or a wrist pain, a knee pain, a hip pain, a back pain, you can use it without any lotions or creams. You can just use it just as the light itself. And there you might want to hold just a little bit longer in a place, or really slower motions around the areas that you're trying to work. If you are using pain creams or lotions or things like that, you're going to want to kind of do it in a little bit of a swirl motion over the area. But again, one of the questions that came up, do I put it right on the skin or do I hold it away? Red light therapy always needs to be right on the skin. Now, this is not the same as your chiropractor's red laser. Even though we use laser diodes, they're tuned to be a little bit wider of an angle of light, whereas an actual laser device that your chiropractor doctor might use, that's a pinpoint, and that you would pull away from the skin just a little bit. But on the Illuminator, it is perfectly safe to go right on the skin, and it is actually more effective right on your skin. So right on the skin, slow, deliberate motions with that. There's some really good topicals for pain that you can get at your the markets that specialize in Oriental medicines. Some of the Chinese lotions and serums are wonderful for pain, and then to use the red light with that are amazing. And those you can get at your stores or on Amazon. So that's what I want to talk about on the Illuminator, and I think I've addressed the questions that have come in on that. So again, real quick, the settings that the only time you'd change the settings is if you're doing a breast examination. All other applications would be at the highest setting. Slow, deliberate movements against the skin, and 2 to 3 minutes at a time in an area. Okay, so a great device. Use it, utilize it, and let us know what you think about the way you use it and how it's helped and benefited you.